Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to cover some of AI related services which Azure is providing. We will look into all those services, but we will emphasize only on the Form Recognizer, and now the new name has been changed. That is a Document Intelligence. So that part we're going to cover, but out of that, I will let you know that how the AI services are working in Azure and how the Document Intelligence service is working on. So this would be the more specific technical session, I would say, in which I will give you the brief that depth that how we can train our document, what configuration is needed in Azure, and what type of services are needed. For example, to document store, what we have to do is we have to have containers. What configuration are needed to scrap that document? So these type of things I will explain in this video. So it will be purely a technical session, not the verbally, but I will step by step walk you through that how we can configure and how we can scrap the document. So let's move to directly to the browser. So that's why I directly open the browser so that I can directly go through the nitty gritty of how that works. So what you can do is directly you can come to the portal.azure.com, and here you, because this service is already searched, so that is why it is listed here. Otherwise what you have to do is we need to search from the search resources, or this the top text box is available. So once we search that service, that is Azure AI Services, once we click on that, so many services which are already being created, they will be listed. But where we'll go is we will go to the overview, and here all these services which are coming under Azure AI Services, they are listed here. So many services, we will go through them one by one. On all the videos I will cover all those AI related services, but more specifically for this particular video we are focusing on document intelligence. So this part, previously it was known as Form Recognizer, now the name has been changed. So what that service will do is we will give a document to it, and out of that document the label will be extracted, and those extracted labels can be dumped into the database. So why we need that service? Just I will give you some brief introduction about that, because there are business scenarios where, for example, a scanned documents are coming to our organization. So many data entry related things we need to do out of all those documents. To minimize those effort, those laborious of efforts, AI provides a scrapper intelligence, for which what we have to do is we have to train similar document. That, for example, we have five type of document in which, for example, first name comes at this particular position. So we will train that out of five documents the first name will be at this place. So once those training is done for that document, so next time once we upload a document in an application, so the AI which we already trained will look into that particular area and grab that field which we have trained and dump into our database. So it depends upon our training in sense. I will let you know that how we can train a model here. The term will be used as a training a model. So we will train a custom model here, because it depends upon definitely our business requirement, our business documents are needed. So for that purpose, definitely we have to have some, at least five documents should be there to train a model, so that it can get the scrapper or the variables in accuracy. So let's move to the document intelligence service. That was a brief introduction about that. So let's move to the document intelligence service. I already, though I have created one of the project, but I'm going to start it from scratch. So let's click on that. Okay, once we click on document intelligence, then we will landed to this page, and we have five tabs available. One is the basic, network, identity, tag, and review and create. So in basic tab, what we will have to do is we need to select the subscription preparation already selected whatever I have been using. But if you have a different too many two or three subscription for example, you need to choose the subscription accordingly. Then we have to create a resource group. I already created the resource group, so I will going to choose that. Otherwise, I need to create one of them. And then the name of whatever the project you are going to create for this document intelligence, we have to give the name. For example, I'm giving form recog, give me the name, form recog 2, for example. And then the price tier can be selected. So for example, for this demo, I'm just selecting the free of tag, but other we have so many other things available. In standard, we have so many things in which we will go whatever the plan which we will select, it will be charged accordingly. But for this is free for 500 pages per month. So I'm going to select this, and then the other things are can also be provided. So I'm directly going to create and review. But if you wanted to go them one by one, you can move on. So let's see how it goes. So after the review, it says that everything looks good to create the new document intelligence. So let me create that. So in this way, what it will do is it will create a document intelligence project. The project will be selected from here, and we have chosen the resource group, the tier, mean paid or free, and given the name of to that. But after that project is being created, next step would be we have to create a container, a storage container where all the PDFs as well as the project itself or their label will be residing. So let's this project to be deployed. So once it will be created, I will go into that, and then I will let you know that how the other steps would look like, and how to configure the container, because container is needed where all the PDF form or whatever the form you are going to scrap, those forms will be available over there. So they need to definitely store somewhere. So for that, we are using the storage container. I'm going to that resource. I mean, the project has been created. If you go to this page, you go to this newly created project, you will land it to this screen. It is very much common for all the resources which we create. For example, it has the status, location, subscription, then subscription ID, and then the endpoint, which is very much important. We may need this endpoint in later point, and then the keys would be there. So I'm going to click on the keys and endpoints. These keys and endpoints, they are pretty much, I would say, needed for a project to get started. Otherwise, if we don't have the keys, then definitely keys is the idea, I would say, or the part which is needed once we configure the project, and that project need to be run in C sharp or the other application. Then definitely we have to have this key available with us. Once those things are done, then I'm moving back to nothing we need to change here. Everything is pretty much same. We are not going to do anything, but these keys we needed later point. So once we go there, if you can scroll down, it gives you the some documentation as well as as well as the studio available for that. For example, client SDK and RESTful APIs, all the APIs are available. If you wanted to go with the RESTful APIs, all the endpoints will be available here. For Python SDK available, for C Sharp SDK available, Java and JavaScript, all the SDKs or sample project would be available here, and then a studio will be available for you to start working. So what I will do is I'm going to click on this studio. Let's see what it does. Okay, so once the studio will be loading, so at that level, I will let you know that the studio is the point where our model will be trained or pre-trained models will be available. So let's see, and I will show you what will come out from there. So the project has been loaded. So let me show you what we have. Once we click on this document intelligence studio, so this will be the studio main page. Here what we have is document analysis. We can read any of the document. These layers available, general documents are available. So that is what they have already created. Then pre-built models, as I said, invoicing, receipts, identity documents, health insurance card, then US tax W2, US tax 10040. So all these type of documents which are predefined, they are automatically be configured in that studio. We don't need to do anything if we want to scrap any of the invoice, receipt, or identity document, especially US based. So in the bottom of this page, these are all available. I mean, credit card, contracts, business cards, everything is available. If you scroll down, then there are the option of custom models. So that is what I'm going to teach you. That if your business does not fall in these pre-built models, then definitely what you have to do is we need to create our own model and let that model be trained according to whatever our business requirement is. For example, let me click on here. So once we click on that, it will again ask for my identity. Definitely, I need to just select the same subscription and same credential, whatever we have used. So once those are provided, you will land into another screen where a video link would be available. You can go through that Azure Form Recognizer video available from Microsoft. But at the bottom, you will see the already created project would be there, because I already gone through, for example, the project previously. So my created project is there, but I'm going to create a new project for you. So the first thing, we have to click on the create project and then the project name. For example, I'm saying form recog 2, for example. Description can be given anything you can give as a description. Then the subscription would be there, and see the next thing would be the resources, and then the connective services which are needed. This was the previous service, and as you remember, this was the project which I created, form recognizer. You have to create that, and then if you don't have, you can create that, and this is the API version which we needed. So once these things would be there, then the next things would be the data source. Then subscription would be there, resources would be the same, and now you can see what it says is a storage account. So we can create our own storage account separately, or created one can also be there. So I have already created, so I'm going to, no, that would be created with another. So let's create another one. Okay, I'm saying storage for storage form 2, for example. And then the location need to be selected. This is what we have to provide for the service location. For example, you can select any of them, but definitely you need to choose it, very intelligently, because these locations are your server or data center location. So I'm just selecting the East US, but you need to select according to your nearest data center. And then the tier, I'm going to use to select the standard tier here, and then the below storage name would be available there, because I told you previously that the storage count will be linked to a container, and container would, all the project and PDF related things would be stored here. So I will show you once it will be created. So I'm saying form recog, for example, to container. Assuming you can specify any folder, otherwise it will store everything on the root of that container. So let's create the project. So the two things I have done, number one, I have created a form recognizer services itself, and then I'm now going to use that service and creating a form recognizer project. For that project, I have gone through the project name, configuration service resources, what were the resources available, and then I have to select the connect data storage sources. In the data sources, I have to select or create the newly created container, or we need to create the container. Otherwise, if not available, then we have to create. So once your project is ready, you will be landed to this screen. So this screen is where we can train our document here. So let me first show you what this screen look like. So we have our project name, which I just created, label data, models, label data. Here we will label some data. Model already created model, test we according to this model, if we wanted to test something, we can do that. And setting, from setting, we can change the setting for this project if needed. So do one thing, let me select one of the document available, for example, sample invoice. Let me. So once we select any of the documents, so what we are going to do is we are going to train a document. We will select multiple documents here and we'll put our label over there. So once our recognizer will be run on that, so for that trained model, it would scrap. So once we select one of any of the document, then it what it will do is some predefined things it will do. Run the layout, it will run the layout, it will label the things automatically. I mean, define the area automatically. And once we click on the auto labels, if already labels are there, it will automatically be labeled the things which already known by that model. For example, I'm going to run the layout first because this is the first document, so definitely I need to first click on the layout. So it will, what it will do is it will highlight all the items. Now once your document is highlighted, as you can see the document has been highlighted, then what you can do is you need to create a field over here or select any of them. For example, assuming, let me see, I wanted to click on that and I create a label that will be invoice number. It would be a field. It will automatically be created here. Then I will select and say it is invoice date. Create a field. It would be a date. Then I will click on that and I will say due date for invoice. Only due date is sufficient. Okay, no problem. We can create the field. As you can see, all the fields have been created, right? In the same manner, for example, I wanted to select the full and I wanted to create a new customer name as a field. So it will be a newly created field. And then the customer invoice, sorry. So it will create a new field. So what I'm going to do is I am selecting the item. One thing you need to observe that I'm selecting the values, not the actual tags. For example, invoice would be similar for all the document related to this format, right? But this value would be changed. I'm selecting that in this area, once an invoice will be loaded, so the AI need to go to this area and pick the invoice, and that would be the invoice number. And then in this area, it will see for the invoice date. In this area, it will go and see for the due date. In this way, I will tag all those my inputs here, not the labels, only the inputs would be there. For example, assuming, for example, you want to label this as well. So just need to click and label would be created. So once this part is done, at that level, what we have to do is you need to create at least 5 documents here. For a better accuracy, we have to have 5 documents that is recommended from Azure. That is similar type of 5 documents should be here. So 5 documents need to be updated here. All those 5 documents, maybe they have some variation in scanning. For example, this label is something tilted, this date is something come here. So on these 5 documents, it will grasp the accuracy accordingly and grasp the label which I have given it, and according to that, once the model will be trained at that level, it will be automatically be trained, and the accuracy would be more than 90, but it depends upon your document scanning or document layout, because similar document with different scanning or different sort of variation, for example, they might have some accuracy problem. But definitely if the documents are of the similar type, then definitely you will get a more than 90 accuracy. So this is what you have to do, is you need to select one by one 5 document. You need to label them one by one. So next document will be auto labeled. You will select a document, you will click on the auto label. So these labels automatically be applied to that document, but we can delete those if we wanted. Those provisions are available. So what we have to do is we just need to cross this and it will be removed from here. But keep in mind, remove for one will be removed from all the documents. So one thing removed, you need to go through and select in all the documents. So once this exercise is done, then you have to go to your models. And here in the models, the trained model will be available here. I didn't train anything, so that's why I'm not getting anything here. But definitely once the model is trained, we will get all those model trained, and it will be their model ID, model description, API version created on, and this and the status ID. So those model ID definitely you need to keep with them, because those are needed once we scrap a document. So what we did so far is we created the invoice. For example, we created 5 documents here, we labeled them, and once those are labeled, we will click on the trained documents. Once it will be trained, it will go to the models. So in this way, this model will be trained. You need to create at least 5 documents here, so that it should be visible. It should be trained automatically. So what I will do is I have already trained a document, I trained a model. So I will show you that, so that definitely you should know that how the trained model look like. So let's go to, again, I'm going to close it. First, I will show you one thing. Let's go here once more. Before it open, I wanted to show you the, let's okay, no problem. Let's first move there, and then I will show you the container where the project is being stored. So let's see. I'm going to open my existing project, which I already done that. I'm just wanted to show you that how the trained model look like. That was the previously I created, and I already trained a model, because training a model definitely takes some time, because it will scrap on all the documents and then it will train. So I'm going to go to the models here. This model I already trained that, and this model can be used wherever I need it. So that is what I'm just wanted to show you. This once you will label the document, you will train from there, and those will be available here. Now, quickly, I'm just wanted to show you that where these things are being stored. So let's go to home again, and then the storage account. As I said, I have created a new storage. So let's move to that storage. If you go to the storage account, storage would be open there, and there is a data storage container available there. I'm going to click on that, let it open. So that was what we created previously. That was Form Recognizer container we created. So I just wanted to show you a couple of things here. For example, as you can see, that was a document which I uploaded. These are the labels which we created, and it is being created as separately in a JSON file. In the same manner, the OCR is also generated in the JSON file, and these things automatically be created once we train a document. And with that document, you can see there would be always a 3 files: one PDF file or whatever the file you upload it, then the labels you created, and the OCR which we created over there. And one important thing, these are the fields. JSON file, it would be there for one project, one JSON field file would be there, and it is for all the documents. So all the documents, wherever the fields which we are going to label them, all those fields would be available. That can be downloaded, or we can check from there, and that can be accessible. We can download it, no problem. But I just wanted to show you that these are the container, or these are the documents which would be available for all the documents: one PDF original document, one JSON label JSON, and then one OCR would be there. And this is for all the documents which we trained, and then the field file would be there, and this field file would have all the fields available. So this is what we have done in the Azure side, but I also created a sample project where these can be scrapped. So in the sample project, I would say I will attach this document with the video with project with the video for better understanding. So what we have to do is we just need to give our we need to install Azure AI Form Recognizer, whatever the version you have at that time. So that we need to install in our project, and this is the sample project. What we have to do is we need to use this is a console app. Use the Azure and then Form Recognizer document analysis is what we have to use. And then the next what we have to do is we need to have our endpoint and a key. That is what I told you at that time. This is key one, and this is the endpoint we needed for that. And then we will create the credential. According to this, the credential would be there, and then we create a client. So at that level, once the client is available, then what we have to do is we have to give the document, because model is trained, already trained. Now we are going to give a document, and on those document we wanted to scrap the fields which we already trained. So this is the location where I have put, this is the default location where one of the PDF is invoice PDF is attached or stored there. And then I'm just going through the code so that I can show you what it does. So invoice URI would be given there, and using that client, what we are going to do is we are going to call this invoice ID. So here the download data would be downloaded and it will be converted into the stream. So once the stream is ready, then what we'll do is we will call a client, I mean document analysis client, analyze the document async. So it will analyze with pre-built invoice. So if you can see, it has model ID. As you can see, the wait until that is completed. The second option is model ID. In our case, the model ID was different, but here I am using the pre-built model ID. For our cases, we will give, for example, form recognizer 2 model ID. For example, our model ID would be there. So according to that model ID, which would be available here, and using this stream, it will scrap, and after scrapping it will give you the result, and from that result we can iterate that what field we needed. These are the field. For example, in this document we have vendor name, we have customer name, we have items, we have so many other things. In item there might be cases that we have inner fields as well. So in the same manner, what we are doing is we are getting the result. According to that result, we are iterating it, and from iteration we are getting the field type, whether it is a string, it is a numeric, it is date field, it is checkbox, whatever the things would be there, we are getting from there. And from that we are getting the value, and wherever we wanted to store the, in this case it is just what does it just showing on the console. So let's run this application so that I can show you what's going on here. So it will first go through all those fields. One first it will look into their documents, scrap it, get the fields, and field will be displayed in the console. But in the same manner, if it depends upon your requirements. If you wanted to upload a document, you can have in your application the upload controller. Upload controller will upload a document, and the document will be streamed there. And once the document is streamed, at that level you can get the desired result from there. For example, in this case, see, the vendor name has been picked, the customer name has been picked, the description has been picked, the amount, the sub amount, total, whatever the things are there, they have been scrapped. So this is pretty much here. What we have so far is we have created a form recognizer, we created a project, we created a I would say a container over there, and then from that, on top of that, we open our studio. From the studio, we selected the form. We selected 5 forms. From the 5 forms, we trained the model, and then once the model is created, at that level we came back to our solution, and here we provided the endpoint key, and here very important, our model name, and then we scrap it will give you all the document fields. So that's all for this video. Please go through the attached solution, and if you have any question, you can ask me. Thank you so much. Bye bye.